just don't make a team fight out of thin air. You want to have a team fight anytime you're ahead. You don't want to take a clean 5-on-5 team fight if you're behind or even.
And Dignitas are going to clean house.
Everybody has their own role in a team fight. Since I'm the jungler and I play really aggressive junglers, my goal is normally to either kill a priority target or zone a priority target out of the fight.
Dragon, they're going to initiate onto Don't Mash Me. A lot of damage coming in.
I'm the tank. I'm going to be trying to peel the AD, protect my AD. That's my goal. My goal isn't to like kill someone. It's to make sure that I do the best I can in a team fight for my team.
And Counter Logic played the time on this one perfectly.
Basically, it's whoever keeps their AD carry alive the longest. If your AD carry is stronger than their AD carry, then you want to protect yours as opposed to killing theirs. As AD carry, like, I preserve my life above all else, and then second, deal as much damage as possible.
Well, here comes the initiation from St. Vicious going in onto Double Lift. Double Lift disengages very successfully. Well, look at the damage from Double Lift.
Like, everyone has to know what they're doing, like, before we're gonna fight. That way, everything's coordinated. You have to discuss with your team beforehand who to target.
I'm on Caitlyn, I'm on Caitlyn, I'm on Caitlyn.
And the more communication, the more you're going to find yourself winning.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American LCS. Thank you very much for joining us on this Easter Sunday as we continue our big Week 7. Hopefully you've got a basket full of candy and some energy drinks because we've got 6 more exciting games for you today. Of course, I am Lee D-Man Smith, and alongside me is Sam, Kobe, Hartman, Kensler. And I'm still trying to calm down after all the action from yesterday. And it was a little bit hyper yesterday. It was some awesome games. Of course, the top teams in the league squared off with explosive results. One very big upset at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. CLG broke their 5-game losing streak against Curse, no less. That's huge. They're a top seed. Curse didn't do too bad either, though. They beat Dignitas, one of their biggest competitors. And GGU still undefeated against Vulcun.
Absolutely awesome stuff. And yeah, it was like, it's against Vulcun. 3-0 though. I mean, 3 of their 4 wins coming from Vulcun, of course. Let's take a closer look at the action from yesterday.
The first match of the day featured a classic rivalry with a twist. An 8-9 CLG took on the 11-5 Team Solo Mid on Dyrus' birthday. Perhaps getting a little too antsy, Reginald's Diana gets taken down for first blood 18 minutes into the game.
Hotshot turns his ultimate ace in the hole, comes out, Double Lift back there. He's taken solo. Will the Piltover Peacemaker come out? Yes, it will. And it's going to be first blood for Double Lift.
In a game-changing play, Team Solo Mid was able to catch out Aframu, leading to an ace.
It's going to be Aframu that goes down. Chaucer's going to get absolute 0 full channel. No, Odd One interrupts him, but Odd One goes down now. Reginald taking incredibly low. Can he get in there? Chaucer's taken low. Hotshot GG taken low. He goes down. It's Wild Turtle that picks up that kill. Now Double Lift trying to turn it, but he gets focused on. Reginald not quite catching on. Catches him with the Crescent Dash. Shadow Dash full length, and that's going to be an ace for Team Solo Mid. Now they're going to pick up Baron.
With Super Minions cornering CLG in their base, TSM pushed on to the victory.
Double Lift, one more hit. Double Lift goes down, and Team Solo Mid are gonna take the game against Counter Logic Gaming. And well, happy birthday, Dyrus.
We were kind of scared going into this week. So far, I think it went okay for this game.
The second game of the day pitted the first place Curse against the second place Dignitas. And it was an explosive start for Curse.
Wow. Oh no, Saints going in, 45. Paces game, St. Vicious goes in, the aggression goes down, St. Vicious taking low, as is Skara, and the Ignite comes out, the exhaust is used, Skara goes down, it's first blood, it's Cobb that picks it up, and the belly slam comes out from Voyboy. It's Voyboy going down now, Crumb's in trouble as well, he's gonna get dropped, one more shot, double kill for Cobb, and would you believe it's a 3-1 for Curse already.
At 25 minutes, a fight near Dragon ended with St. Vicious chasing down Skara for another kill.
And here comes the Requiem, Patoy will drop Cutie-Pie, so low, didn't go down from it though, but it is Elements getting Kiwi Kid at the same time, and now St. Vicious, flash flip coming out from St. Vicious there, excellent stuff.
Yeah, Dignitas made the play, they didn't get the Dragon, and they've lost the fight. This is a huge power play for Curse.
Curse's successful level 1 strategy allowed them to secure an easy victory, and they extend their lead at the top of the LCS standings.
Cop does take down one, and there's going to be another. Requiem comes out, boom, takes down another 2 straight away.
That was really the polar opposite of the last time these teams met because Curse had control from the very start.
That's what we did. We called out the targets, and we had just a really great level 1 that snowballed the game.
A 14-5 Dignitas took on a 13-5 Team Solo Mid in a battle for second place. This is the first meeting between these two teams since Week 2. Dignitas secured first blood when Scar's Gragas took down Reginald's Diana.
One more hit, it's going to be the body slam coming in from Scar, first blood.
At just under 30 minutes, Team Solo Mid started on Baron, but Dignitas engage at the right moment, allowing Crumbs to pick up the steal.
Actually, it goes over to Dignitas on this one. They're able to steal it out.
Running out of options, TSM tried to make one last play, but Scar's Gragas was too strong and his triple kill secured an ace and forced the surrender.
Dyrus on the top side, he's gonna go. The bottom of the screen is Reginald taking damage now. Wild Turtle is the focus, and Kiwi Kid is not letting up. He could get one more swing down. Completely takes down the back line by himself. The odd one now peeling off for the rest of the group, but it looks like Dignitas is just able to dictate the way this fight goes. Xpecial goes down. Absolutely is the surrender. You can see Dyrus, his head down a bit.
Especially after today, Scar's Gragas play, like, I'm gonna be doing some extra favors for him, like chores and, you know, the dishes for sure.
The last match of the night featured the last battle of the season between CLG and Curse. CLG was looking to even the season series, having dropped 2 of the previous 3 games to Curse. First blood went to Hotshot GG when his Cho'Gath feasted on Nyjackie's Orianna.
And oh my gosh, getting burst down and completely feasted on. First blood from Counterlogic Gaming.
At 17 minutes, CLG were able to avoid the shockwave from Nyjackie to turn things around.
She moves the ball and everybody flashes out. Nyjackie misses the ultimate there. Chowster's taking a bit too much. Hotshot doesn't have the rest of the team. Look how squishy the rest of CLG are, but they get off the burst they need, and CLG turned that one around.
Flashing that shockwave was gigantic.
CLG were relentless in their push, and a quadra kill from Doublelift would all but end the game.
And he finds himself on the ground. A triple kill coming in now for Doublelift. Could he get the quadra? The quadra kill coming in.
Doublelift showing that he's more than just the Bane and Caitlyn that people have been pigeonholing him into.
CLG pull out the win to even the series against Curse at 2-2.
Ooh, Cop letting 3 deaths go in that game. That's gonna ruin his shining KDA. CLG are just like, oh yes, that is the icing on top of the cake.
Okay, now let's see where we stand. After yesterday's games, all of the top 4 teams went 1-1 yesterday. So it does, of course, mean there's not going to be any changes in the standings. Up the top there, Curse 13-3, Dignitas 15-5, TSM 13-6, and CLG finally with a win, going 9-10.
The bottom half didn't move at all either. Vulcan still on top at 7-11, Marn 5-11. Complexity and GGU still tied for that last place at 4-12.
Now we have 6 big matches lined up for you today. Of course, kicking things off, it is going to be Marn taking on Vulcan. Yesterday was a rough day for both of these teams, but one of these squads will start the day off with a win. Then it's, of course, 2 teams who came out with victories on Saturday. That's Complexity and Good Game University. The winner here will pull away from last place. And our third match features MegaZero and the rest of Marn taking on Dignitas and their final showdown of the season.
Then, after beating the #1 team yesterday, CLG set their sights on Complexity. Next up, it's GGU again, but this time they're against TSM, who had their winning streak snapped yesterday. We'll have to see if they can start a new one today. And closing out our Sunday coverage, it's Vulcan taking on Curse.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for today's Twitter question. We've already had an incredible slate of matches in Europe today, so we want to know, big question, guys, if you could take one team from the EU LCS and have them play in the North American LCS, which team would you choose and why?
Please answer us on Twitter. We're at LOL Esports, and remember to use the hashtag LCS. We'll be checking in with you guys all day and reading your responses live on air.
Absolutely awesome stuff. So interested to hear what answers come from that one. Once you're done tweeting, of course, don't forget to go on to lolesports.com and vote for who you think will win each match today. All you got to do is get in there and click it.
Yeah, just go in the upper right-hand corner, I think, and click on the matches and make your predictions.
Absolutely awesome stuff. So when we come back, it's going to be the time for our first match of the day. It will be Marn versus Vulcan. Don't go anywhere.
not the most crucial thing in the game.
I would say like 60% to 70% of the time I'm looking at the map and not at the screen.
Get your HUD scale and make that mini map enormous so you can't miss it.
Well, I've tried multiple times, but honestly, my awareness sucks. Afro's got good eyes, so he sees that kind of stuff and he relays information to me.
How to improve map awareness? You don't be double lift.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time for our first match-up of the day. It is MRN versus Vulcun. Both these teams lost yesterday, so this is a must-win for both squads if they want to stay within striking distance of 4th place.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough match for MRN because both times they met before this, Vulcun have come out on top. They dominated them at MLG. It was just a little hard to watch even. In that game, Sycho Sid, he went 7-1-4, beating MegaZero. That doesn't happen very often. MegaZero prides himself on his 1v1s. Echo was sick though, so they kind of have an excuse. They pulled a sub from the crowd and played with a random person from the crowd. So you always have an easy excuse in your back pocket.
It was good to see there was decent players in the crowd as well. That's what we like to see.
Actually, that was,
both MRN and Vulcun have been watching each other improve throughout the season, of course, and they are looking forward to going head-to-head today. Take a look at this.
MRN for us should be kind of an easy win there.
Vulcan's a really good team. I think sometimes they can be relatively inconsistent, I guess.
I'm excited to see how their team has developed with Nien on the AD, and I think their lineup is definitely stronger than it used to be.
I feel like Vulcun has improved a lot as a team over the past couple of weeks, and it's going to be a really good game against them with our new roster and everything.
MRN's a pretty good team, and we're 2-0 against them, and I think we'll go 3-0, but definitely not going to underestimate them.
Big words there from Zuna. Gonna go 3-0. We'll see if they do. Let's take a look at the lineups, of course. On the blue team, it is going to be MRN. MegaZero in that top lane. Claykity in the jungle. Echo back in that mid lane. Yentonso, the new AD carry, and Heartbeat now on support.
And on the red side, it's Vulcun. Sycho Sid is up top. Smithy's in the jungle. Mandatory Cloud at mid. Zuna and Muffin QT bottom as AD and support.
Muffin QT. I like it. And this game's mid lane is the featured matchup for today. It is going to be MRN's Echo versus Vulcan's Mandatory Cloud. Some of the say the most underrated AP. I think we can stop calling him that now.
People are definitely recognizing him, especially his Nidalee. Those spears are so impressive. They've only faced each other once since Echo was sick at MLG, and that was in week 3, mandatory on Lux. He went 6-2-9, while Echo was on Syndra. Lux is just so fun to snipe people out. It's a lot like that Nidalee where you get random kills. Both of them actually really like to play Nidalee. The AP Nidalee mid just got really big, and Mandatory Cloud is actually 4-0 with her, whereas Echo's only 1-2, so Mandatory Cloud kind of has the upper hand there.
Yeah, so it's going to be good to see which way the bans, of course, go. What are we expecting? Picks and bans going to be coming up in a moment. Champ Select. What are we seeing in this one? Surely Nidalee is going to be one of those bans.
Yeah, I mean, Mandatory Cloud really likes to get those champions where you can pick someone out or at least get a huge burst from some skill shots that he lands. Very blue-dependent middles from both of these players, actually. Echo also plays a lot of Anivia. He said Froggen was his inspiration, and he was like, yeah, I'm pretty much as good as Froggen on Anivia when we asked him about it. So he's also very confident on those kind of champions. Absolutely. So those mid players are, oh, there we go, the first ban, Nidalee.
Nidalee, Akali being taken away, of course. I didn't want MegaZero to have that one, maybe. Was that MegaZero, or would that be Echo? I mean,
It's
I don't think I've seen MegaZero on it too much, but it is him. He never really gets a chance. There's a Renekton ban. That definitely is MegaZero, of course. Diana and Elise also taken away. Elise has kind of been a common ban, it's safe to say. And Diana, it's been one of those strong picks in North America so far.
Yeah, I mean, Dignitas really brought her to the forefront of the North American scene with 2 of their players being very strong Diana players. They can use it side lane, so split pushing. They really like that Gnasher's Tooth build where you can push all day and wave clear really quickly. So a lot of other people have actually picked that champion up from them, and it's a pretty common ban nowadays as well.
So Twisted Fate also taken away, and we saw Rumble insta-lock there, so MegaZero going to be potentially happy with his choice. I'm trying to think whether he played Rumble yesterday. I don't think he did. He was up against Rumble, if I recall.
He's played Rumble a lot. He wants to pick his champions first because he doesn't have a very big pool. So if you take out the Renekton and the Akali, he wants to grab one of his few remaining champions before the other team can get him. So we usually see MRN pick one of those top laners first, and Rumble's he's definitely a accomplished Rumble player. Again, it's one of those solo lane champions where you have to think twice before ganking him. We saw before yesterday, Dyrus on Rumble was able to turn around a gank and got the kill for himself and stayed alive. It just it really snowballed his lane, so you have to be very careful when dealing with that Rumble.
So it looks like they're going to go for the AD and the jungler, and that is going to be Caitlyn and Volibear. Volibear definitely been one of the junglers we've seen a lot of. We're going to see Nasus to go along with it.
We might. Claky plays a lot of bruiser junglers. He's got a little bit more passive as the LCS has gone on, because in the beginning of the LCS, Claky would play Jarvan or Vi, and he would get caught out a couple times trying to get his early ganks off, walking over wards, and it kind of made him a little bit more safe player. He's really changed his style, and it's been working to Martin's advantage. They play as a team a little bit safer. And so he might go with something like the Nasus, which really takes a lot more effect late game with the fully stacked Wither and that max Spirit Fire, so much that he can add to the game a little bit later.
So they're definitely taking their time on this one. Not going to be insta-lock champions. Looking like they may go for Lux getting locked in early, so locking in that mid laner fairly early on. And there is, as you mentioned, Nasus. Kind of expected that one. So top laner, we think they could counter the mid. Now they know what they're up against, but maybe a little bit too soon. Do you not think that's an early pick for the mid lane there?
I mean, everybody knows the kinds of champions that both these mid laners really want, and they want to take away Lux from Mandatory Cloud, because without the Nidalee, that would probably be Mandatory Cloud's next bet to go with, since he does like catching people out. So you pick it early, it opens you up to an assassin sort of counter, someone like Kassadin or something who could, at level 6, get in very close on Lux is actually a pretty good pick against her if you can find a way to get Kassadin to level 6 without being starved. So the counter picks there for Lux are a little bit few and far between, and they're just trying to take that away from Mandatory Cloud.
Well, we do see Singed being hovered over, Lulu also. Singed, of course, this is 3.04. Singed took a hit in this one, so it'd be interesting to see if Sycho Sid goes for this.
He's got a lot less damage, I feel like, on the fling. I mean, they nerfed not only the base damage, but also the AP ratio. And he's still that same annoying champion. His core strength, the poison. He can run around in circles. If you chase him, you're still going to lose a lot of life. And people have not given up on him. They still think he's this really solid champion. He was by far one of the most annoying champions to play with before they took off a lot of the stuff off his ultimate and the damage off his fling. Now he's in a pretty good place. He's a balanced top laner that's still usable sometimes. And it looks like they might actually want to do a 2-versus-1 switch. Caitlyn and Lulu is great at shoving very early and taking an early tower. So if you send that up against Rumble, then you don't really have to worry about the really dangerous 1-versus-1 Rumble play. And especially since it's MegaZero, you kind of want to take advantage of that.
We saw Varus and Janna did get picked up. Janna starting to become a little bit more popular here, and Kha'Zix's currently being held over by Mandatory Cloud.
Yeah, Varus as well. For North America, it's been pretty recent. And a lot of people really just like the burst on him. They combo that with an interesting item build, rushing the Cutlass into the Blade of the Ruined King. And especially in solo queue, you catch a lot of people off guard. You can just burst them down all the way from 100 to 0 as you're kiting away, which Janna actually helps out with a lot since she's got the movement speed and stuff. But Varus has been pretty popular in the Korean and Chinese scenes as well over late. He's actually right behind MF in the AD carry win rate rankings right now, so definitely very popular.
Oh, MF was available, of course, hasn't been picked for quite a while. I don't think the entire time I've been here at North American LCS, obviously did have a slight hit, so nobody's allowed it through. So there's the two teams. You can see them prepping themselves. Discussions between them, whether they're happy or sad with their picks. Who would be the happier of the two?
Looks like Sycho Sid's pretty happy there. So I guess Vulcun might be the happier right now. Even though Martin looks like they got most of what they wanted. Niantanzo is a very versatile AD. He can play all of the AD, the really popular ADs, as well as just random mid champions and stuff, because he's played all over the place. Heartbeat is the one I would be looking at in that bottom lane, since he's very new to the support role. And Janna's actually a fairly technical support. Getting off timely knockups and timely shields, as well as that ultimate, is really going to be a test for Heartbeat in his new position.
Well, we are about to get things underway. This is going to be the first game of the North American LCS. It will be Man versus Vulcun. 6 games today, remember, just like we had yesterday. This is the cancelled IPL weekend. We are here back in the studio in Los Angeles, so thank you very much for tuning in Europe and North America and wherever else you may be in the world that trying to catch a glimpse of the North American scene, of course. I know there's a lot of people staying up over in Europe to keep a glimpse on this one. We are getting underway, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Man as the blue team and Vulcun as the red team. Level 1 setups. Are we going to see an invade? We saw a few crazy little moments yesterday, of course. Dignitas fell foul to Curse's trap
Yeah.
yesterday. Will we see similar things?
Well, we see a spreading out here from Vulcun. It looks like they're going to go very defensive. They just want to place their early wards and catch Marn on their invade. Marn look a little bit more focused. They've got a plan where Jan is going over to defensively ward their blue side, and then they're just going to camp out this bush and try to catch Lulu if Lulu comes over to place a ward at this Wraith bush.
Well, we see them setting up. As you mentioned, they want to try and get in there. They have the Rumble to Harpoon to get the slowdown. The Wither as well could come out. There's just anything to keep them slowed down. They haven't picked the skills yet. We see Sycho Sid doing a spamming the laugh. I think it's safe to say. Marn, maybe. Do you think they're going to go for a late invade, or they're just purely on protective duty here?
Yeah, they're just looking for the ward placement here. This is a very common ward that a lot of teams will place by the Wraith Bush, so you can see when the junglers come, if they want to come mid lane or something, when they're around the red buff. But it just so happens that Vulcun are not going to do any very deep wards. They just play some defensive ones on their side of the river, so no early action here. The only thing is there is one red elixir on the map that's going to be Mandatory Cloud with Kha'Zix, and that can actually catch you by surprise once he does get his jump as well as his Q. It can do a lot of damage if you're isolated from the rest of your creeps.
We'll see whether again any kill yumps going on today, but that's going to be later on, whether them resets do happen. We see the golems being taken in the bot lane, and up the top lane is going to be Lulu heading up there along with him. It's going to be the AD carry, so we will see the lane switches, as you mentioned. We did expect it to come out, and it will be happening. Of course, the mid lane is going to stay the same. Clicky D is going to get the help of Heartbeat on the red buff, and Sycho Sid's helping out Smithy on the blue. Doesn't look like either are going to be giving any buffs away. So it's going to be standard setups. I think this is almost safe to say now. 3-minute turret dash.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty standard. The only thing here is Sycho Sid has teleport on his Singe, so he's going to be a little bit better off than MegaZero up there. It might be hard for MegaZero to defend his tower as effectively because he doesn't have that easy way to get back to lane after the first burst of damage.
We see an Echo versus Mandatory Cloud here. How do you stack this one? Lux versus Kha'Zix. Mandatory Cloud had the chance of obviously counter-picking in towards Echo, so you'd expect him to be stronger.
Yeah, he did get that assassin pick, so once he does get leveled up, he gets his level 6. Then it's going to be a little bit dangerous for Lux. But the early levels, Lux with her range and the chance to land those bindings actually has the upper hand. If she can land a binding on Mandatory Cloud, that would be a great setup for a gank because Wither is really effective even at level 1. So if you have Nasus just walking in there and you land a binding, it could at least get the flash out of him.
Well done, this bot lane. The Entonso and Heartbeat we see trying to keep Sycho Sid zoned out from as much experience as he can get. He's still at level 2, so he's keeping up with the duo pairing, but he would be looking to try and stretch that one. Smithy sneaking in his top bush.
So we also have Claky coming up with the wave clear strategy. Nasus is great with this. He actually goes straight for Muffin.
And they're going to flick. Actually, Claky D tried to flick him in there. Actually, I think he flicked him the wrong way. Went into the wall, which means he didn't carry much distance. It does still mean that Vulcun are going to put pressure on towards his top turret, though.
Nasus a bit too heavy, and the wave clear is not going to be there. What he really needed to do was come in and Spirit Fire the wave.
And now they're going in towards MegaZero. MegaZero trying to put the damage down on Muffin. Cutie takes a tower hit and the ignite, and now Smith is going to take a tower hit, but it is going to be first blood. It's Zuna that picks it up on MegaZero.
Oh, that was a little bit of a misplay from Marn right there. I would have liked to see the Spirit Fire from Nasus to go down on the wave instead of on the Lulu. They weren't aware that Smithy was at that top lane, though. And then the miscommunication as Claky goes back, MegaZero stays there, 3 versus 1 tower dive, and we do actually see the early first blood.
Well, this bottom lane, you can see Sycho Sid, he took some damage as well. Nyantonso and Heartbeat working away on that turret. Not a great deal of damage on this top lane, despite the fact they did have that kill. They haven't managed to clear it out. Claky D, because he went back early, he's got himself straight back on towards that turret to protect it.
Yeah, he's going to try, and so they don't lose as many minions to the turret, but it really, really hurts MegaZero. Not only did he die, but he also used his flash and his ignite, so he's going to have no summoner spells. He has only consumable items. He had to go with that very effective buy of the Doran Shield to just try and get some health and some regen from somewhere.
It does look like the mid laners are starting to back off. Tyria the Goddess being picked up by Echo. And Mandatory Cloud has just gone back. He's picked himself a Tyria the Goddess as well. Remember, he's still got that fourth pot. hasn't used it just yet.
Yeah, they're going to want to be spamming as many spells as they can in that mid lane to stack up the tiers. And the blue buffs, like I said, so important with both of these mid laners. So if the junglers can make their presence felt and actually ward up early on the enemy's blue buff, like say if Vulcun want to take advantage of MegaZero's early deficit in this top lane, uh-oh, we don't have the ghost there from Sid.
We have ghost from Sycho Sid, but it's really just defensive duties, I think. Meanwhile, it looks like they're going to start stacking up in the top lane.
Yep, we have the bear coming around the back, but again, MegaZero's going to run right into him.
He does go straight in, face plants in there, does get the flip, tries to put some more damage down. Claky has shown himself visible, and now he's walked past that ward. They know exactly that he's nearby. Smithy, though, does look like the turret's going to go down. Will they continue on? He's going to have the cooldown back up on that flip in a moment. They haven't taken the turret. It may be a mistake. They do get the flip on Claky. They try and pull him back, but they can't get the damage down. It does, of course, mean that that turret will go.
Yep, so even though they have the Nasus jungle, which is the superior wave clear, they weren't able to defend this turret, and it does go down very early. Not only do they get first blood, but they get first turret as well. Very substantial lead for Vulcun right here. That Lulu Caitlyn lane just so good at taking the early towers.
So Mandatory Cloud, he's evolved his Void Spikes as you would expect in that mid lane. Kind of a standard level 6 start from ManCloud on Kha'Zix. Meanwhile, Echo, he's keeping the pressure down. We'll have that laser now. We'll be able to try and start clearing as much as possible, try and get the poke on. But as you mentioned, it is Vulcun, who are currently above Man in the table. Just keeping that standings even and with the advantages. It's only built up though. Look, despite that, they had that first kill and first turret. It's only 200 difference.
Niantanso did a really good job with Heartbeat down bottom. They answered with a turret shortly after, so at least they don't have that global gold advantage. And you get a slight lead by having the advantage in your bottom lane, because that's where the dragon is, and that's where it will be mostly contested on the map after this, because it looks like we have Lulu. They're going to switch up the lanes, and now it's going to be a 2 versus 2 in bottom. We're going to go back to a normal Season 2 style of play here after the turret's already down.
Well, while it's a normal setup, we definitely have different builds between the two. You can see Doran's Blade and BF Sword versus Pickaxe and Berserker Greaves with that Doran's Blade.
It looks like Smithy's a little deep here in the jungle. They see him with some wards, and Echo gets a catch.
He does get caught out. The light bindings was there, but it's not enough to follow it up. They didn't use the laser. It was available. Could have probably gone for the kill maybe on Smithy there.
Yeah, he doesn't have too much mana, and that Volibear passive could just do so much work. If you get him below that 30%, he'll just regen up again, another 30%. So they decide he doesn't want to waste the rest of his mana, and he goes back to laning. They just get him out of their jungle and return to the normal farming style.
So ManCloud picks himself up the blue buff. No blue buff for Echo just yet. I think Smithy will be working, will work his way around there. Smithy may work his way around there if he leaves it any longer. ManCloud does just sidestep there, and now they're going to see going towards the blue. And as I mentioned now, it looks like Sycho Sid wants to sniff on that blue.
Yeah, he's making a good move there. I like the ward. So when we have pressure against these mid laners that really, oh, here we go. Mandatory Cloud's coming in to contest it. Both of them value that blue buff so much. They saw him come in, and Muffy taking a lot of damage.
He stood on top of Ward. Will he be able to get sniped down? Yes, he will. Niantanso gets the kill. Could see a Howling Gale trying to knock up Zuna here, maybe force the flash away. Meanwhile, down the bottom there, you can see the blue buff actually in the top lane was trying to get stolen away, but Echo used that final spark to maybe secure it.
The difference right there was Niantanso went with the full damage build. He has no boots. He just went with straight BF Sword. As soon as he get a BF Sword, he went back, grabbed that. Whereas Caitlyn there, she upgraded her boots, got sort of the pickaxe that she wants to turn into an Infinity Edge, and it's a lot less straight burst damage.
Well, Mandatory Cloud currently keeping up the farm with Echoes 71 to 75. Meanwhile, in that bottom lane, it was Niantanso. We do see a teleport coming out from Sycho Sid here. They're going to try and collapse on towards Niantanso, I feel. They have got Zuna back down here. Going to come around, gets the slowdown. Will flip him in. Barrier's been used. Is it going to be enough? Zuna's taken low now. He's going to go in towards the bush, but there's a ward there. They spotted him out there. And now Sycho Sid's in trouble. Here comes Claky D. The Wither goes down. The Wither, Spirit Fire on top of him. Niantanso putting the damage down at the back there. Muffy Cutie trying to protect them. Has to keep away from this one. And Claky D can't follow it through.
That heart. Oh, now Smithy up top.
Meanwhile, at the top, it is going to be MegaZero. He does get the kill on Smithy. Back and forth action, but Mandatory Cloud, he's going to come in ultimate running. He's going to jump straight across. Does manage to catch him out, and he is completely separated. MegaZero is not going to be able to get away from this one. All the harpoons in the world will not prevent the Void Spikes of Mandatory Cloud picking up the kill. It's 3-2. Suddenly, the action happens.
Some vengeance for Vulcun right there, and now they have a Kha'Zix with double buff. That is really big, so he wants to get as quickly to his second evolution as possible. Once he can get the resets with the jumps, then everything's going to get really exciting and we can go to town.
Gonna try and go to town. It does look like MRN are setting up for Dragon here.
And Heartbeat, I just want to shout out from that last play. I was talking about everyone want to keep their eyes on the Janna play. He really played that very well. He protected Niantanso. They turned it around. They got the kill on Zuna first, and he even got out with his life. Now, look at all this vision ward. The vision wards from MRN. They're not actually going to kill the pink one over here. They're just going to try and burst down the dragon.
They can't actually see it. We just saw the vision. He can see that one, but he can't. No vision of the Zuna's ward that he has just down at the side there. Heartbeat now, they're actually pinned in. They're committed to try and get this dragon down. Clayky still tanking it up there. Echo, nobody else really doing damage on it, so Clayky's been left alone. The Niantanso getting in there. Dragon has gone down, and now they just need to evacuate, and that is exactly what they're doing. Of course, the teleport from Sycho Sid was not available, so they couldn't try and overnumber them with 5-on-4.
Niantanso just creates so much pressure for this team. You saw him fighting over the wall there with Caitlyn, and he definitely got the better of that exchange. He's already upgraded into that Bloodthirster, so now he's going to be stacking that up with this free farm down bottom. And once he has a fully stacked Bloodthirster, then we're going to see the grouping here from MRN, and they'll probably look to take a middle turret next, maybe even help out MegaZero and go for that top lane.
Okay, trying to catch the light bind and see if they can smoke something away from Mandatory Cloud. Instead, Spiritfire used to try and shove this mid lane. We do see the AD carry of Niantanso starting to work towards it, so it's going to be a 4-man stack from MRN for this mid lane, but look at that, Mandatory Cloud just clearing that wave, no problem with the Void Spikes.
Yeah, both of them have really good wave clear right now, so it will be hard, but they did send everyone over to that mid lane. Now that they've taken the bottom turret, the AD and support are free to go for other objectives, and they should put a lot of pressure. There's only 2 members currently defending for Vulcan. Like you said, those Void Spikes are just amazing wave clear, especially with Lulu's Glitterlands.
And look at that, it's clearing it out before they even get close to it. While this is happening, they're buying time for Zuna. Zuna's been free farming down the bottom. He's now shoving on towards the turret. You can see, looks like Clayky D is going to try and cut him off, try and prevent him getting on towards that, but he has a siege line of minions coming in there. Clayky D will clear a lot down with the Spirit Fire, but he's going to get a good few shots, free shots on towards that. I don't think there's going to be anything that Clayky D can follow it up with.
He missed one of his siphoning strikes there. Key Nasus mistake. You can see it's only level 1 right now, and he's only got plus 75 extra damage on it, so not really a big factor yet.
Not a big factor
only 12
yet.
minutes.
We'll get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. Of course, we'll try and keep you posted on that one. Zuna keeping that free farm going. He is still behind the Niantanso farm, and of course that is because he's 2-0 down in kills. Clayky D, he's doing a good job at clearing these waves. That Spirit Fire, of course, will be up to about level 3 or 4 by now. Will definitely be stacking it up. He's put Wither down on towards Zuna, and that's obviously going to prevent him from doing more damage on towards that turret. So continuing the pressure in this mid lane, though. MRN now stacking 4 members up in there.
Yeah, and Clayky's slowly running out of mana, so he won't be able to defend that bottom quite as well. A nice finding does land on a Mandatory Cloud, but the wave clear is still there. This Void Spike plus Glitterlands combo is doing so much work for Vulcan.
Niantanso just catching the arrow. I keep calling it a spear because it's like a Nidalee spear almost hitting through there. But it catches on towards him. Zuna keeping pressure on himself from Clayky D. Clayky D, like you mentioned, out of mana. He can't defend him much longer. Mandatory Cloud, though, with that blue buff, he's going to come back. He's going to have a hell of a lot of mana to try and keep these waves away. Expected to maybe come around the side. The bear's going to come around the side. Looks like Vulcan are going to try and set something up here. Oh, Smithy backs off, though.
Yeah, and they only need 2 more hits on that turret. They do take it down. They actually use Niantanso's ultimate.
And they may well get him down here. You can see the lasers going to come through. There's the snipe coming out from Niantanso. Just snuck him out there, and he just stuck around a little too long. Didn't realize the tower was going to go so quick.
And there was a little bit of a delayed move there by MRN. It looked like Niantanso made a call by his actions. You know, your actions speak louder than your words. He used his ultimate, so then everyone else decided to use their ultimates. The laser and the rumble coming in right there, finishing off that Singed.
It's a perfectly legit way of doing it as well. And bearing in mind, Niantanso, this is only his 2nd week in the LCS, of course, so may not be quite so confident to make the call. Simply said, hey, guys, I landed the skill shot, so maybe everybody else wants to tag in on this one and use some skills as well. So Clayky D is going to keep building that queue up as much as he can. He's just clearing out the wave as well, continuing on. So let's have a look across. Zuna currently, it has fell behind Niantanso. Niantanso now 3-0 up, 125 to 112, and you can see in terms of gold, that's 1,200 gold he has over the AD carry. Looking across the other lanes, there's a 900 gold lead built up by MegaZero over Sycho Sid, and the mid lane, it's actually 500 gold swinging towards Mandatory Cloud.
Not only is Niantanso ahead in gold, but he chose the item path that's a really large power spike in the mid game. His fully stacked Bloodthirster is so much more effective than Zuna's partially completed Infinity Edge. It's going to be a while until he can finish the Infinity Edge, and then it will start to balance out. But until that point, Niantanso is really king on the map right now.
So when Cloud comes back in towards his mid lane, they are 2-1 down in turret. Smithy not being able to really help set up any of those ganks other than those initial ones which you'd expect. Oh, and there's going to be the laser sniped on towards ManCloud. He should be able to just keep himself life-stealing back. He's already almost built up that Bloodthirster, so he will have the life-steal back on there. Smithy, though, looking like they're going to try and bait this one out. Which one's he going to go for? Is it going to be Claky D or is it going to be Echo instead? He's going to walk in. It will be Echo he goes for, but Claky D seems to be the target he got closer to. And now comes Zuna coming around the side. The damage is going to come out. It's Mandatory Cloud that picks up the kill.
Good job collapsing there by Vulcun. And you have to remember, at this point, Vulcun are the ones with the teleport. They have Sycho Sid. He still has his teleport up. It's ready to go. So MRN have to be careful of anything they go for on the map. It could easily turn into a 5-on-4 situation because MegaZero up there, even though he doesn't have teleport, he's still having a hard time.
Poke coming out. Echo's doing his best to keep them away from this mid lane turret. Pings are down on that blue buff area. Remember, they saw them picking up the last one, so they're going to be well aware of the exact timer for when that spawns, so they can try and keep it away. Echo, of course, currently sitting on it, so it's going to be a little while yet. 16 seconds before the dragon spawns. Sycho Sid, I guess he's going to try and keep MegaZero as busy as possible. And looking like, yeah, don't back away right in the full vision of everyone else there, Muffy Cutie, before the dragon spawns.
Definitely don't want to waste your HP before a dragon fight, because another way to take an objective is just to get a lot of your opponents low. You don't even have to kill someone as long as you have that dragon timer. It looks like MRN are actually going to go for this one. There is a teleport available from Sins, but nobody else on Vulcun are in place to make any moves, so this looks like it'll be a free dragon for MRN. They increase their gold lead, and they're still sitting pretty, even though MegaZero over here has been having a really tough time.
Yeah, I wonder whether that's just Vulcun just didn't simply have the timer on Dragon there or not, because it was MRN that picked it up the first time around, so whether they just weren't ready for that at all, because everyone seemed to back just at the wrong time.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they have the Sin split pushing, so it feels like there's more map pressure from Vulcun, but MRN are ahead in gold, and they're getting the objectives. They're actually just slowly winning this game and catching people out. If they can catch someone with a Lux Binding, he's got that blue buff, he's going to be throwing things out. 4 members grouping top, though.
Oh, but you can see Mandatory Cloud, he's going to jump on Echo, flashes through. Both of them flash, the light binding catches, but he's going to maybe have the jump. No! He does get away from this one, but it does seem that the top turret, while this is all happening, is going to go down. And MRN now 3-1 up in turret. Like you mentioned, the 4-man stack. It's going to be 3-2, though. Zuna quickly equalizing as much as he can, taking that bottom lane. He's been working on it for a long time. Sycho Sid doing the best job he can to try and keep them away from this inner turret now. Smithy comes around to help. He's also got Muffin Cutie coming around from the red buff. They're all coming in from every angle. The glue gets thrown down. I don't think they're going to go full aggressive on this one. Yes, they will. Mandatory Cloud's heading up. He's going to come through. He's going to go through the ward in the tri-bush, so they know he's there. Meanwhile, down the bottom, you can see Echo and Muffin Cutie going for it. That's going to be the ultimate miss from Niantanso, and it looks like Vulcun are going to continue pursuing.
That's a big cooldown down from MRN. They don't really want to fight this now. They're going to make a full disengage even after the glue comes out. And Echo down bottom, he could actually burst down Zuna. If he's able to land another combo, he's already got him at half life.
Well, he's got the final spark available. If he catches a light binding on him, Zuna, I think, realizes this. He will get taken down. Oh, he's got the light binding. There's the final spark, and he's sniped out of it. And he used the flash as well, just at the wrong time. Now they go aggressive on Sycho Sid at the top there. Wild Growth used. Is it going to be enough? Running through that poison trail. Oh, Muffin Cutie nearly got sniped out. Mandatory Cloud, meanwhile, takes down that mid turret, but it's going to be an inner turret down as well. MRN going to take this one down on the top lane. Suddenly, the action happens all across the map.
They continue pushing up there. It looks like they don't want to go onto the inhibitor turret, even though they do have the kill on Zuna right now. It's interesting they decide not to keep up the pressure. They're just going to decide to go back and purchase with all the global gold that they just got. 2 turrets is a lot.
Well, we do see the items starting to pop in there. We can see Bloodthirster and Zeal now on Niantanso, so almost got that Phantom Dancer ready, so he's got the Cloak of Agility already in there. Meanwhile, Infinity Edge was picked up by Zuna. Mid lane, of course, Morellonomicon on there. That tier's been stacking for a long time. We're expecting that to get turned into, what do you think, Muramano, or is he going to go for the Seraph's Embrace?
Seraph's Embrace, probably, just to get the extra HP. And you can see how much he's needed the shields. The last time he actually used his barrier a little early, got scared of Mandatory Cloud. If Mandatory Cloud can burst down one person on Marn and get that reset, then it could be really bad. So the squishy people like Echo and like the Entanso might consider building a little bit of defense. That Seraph's Embrace would be a really good choice.
So we do see also the Bloodthirster being picked up by Mandatory Cloud, expecting to go health. And there it is straight away. Sycho Sid putting the glue down, making sure he doesn't get collapsed on by MegaZero there, along with Heartbeat with him, of course. The fact that the Heartbeat is in there on Janna is going to give Niantonso that extra barrier should the fights kick off. And of course that Monsoon could try and keep Mandatory Cloud away. If he were to jump in, pop the ulti, blow him backwards.
Yeah, that would be perfect. They don't want him to get that first reset. That's all important. And they want to keep Niantonso able to keep on firing away from the back lines. Like we've pointed out, every time Varus gets picked, he's amazing with his crowd control and his percentage damage. The only thing he's lacking is that escape, the repositioning in team fights. So you really have to be on your game and not make the first mistake.
We do see Mandatory Cloud way down the bottom. We see Sycho Sid way up the top, and Mana going, well, why not 5-man stack this mid lane and see if we can get ourselves a second inner turret of the game. And you see the pings coming down. ManCloud has actually pinged it, and he's coming in from behind. I expect Vulcun to go for this one. Smithy's starting to get aggressive. It's Claky D's going for, but he's going to get sniped out there. He does get taken out. No! Flashes out, and you can see Sycho Sid now comes in. MegaZero, though, does manage to pick up the kill. That's going to be Smithy going down, and Mandatory Cloud, he's trying to kite them away from this one, but gets flipped and jumps at the same time. ManCloud's going to get focused on here. Muffin Cutie taken down low. ManCloud does get dropped. MegaZero with a flame spin. He gets flipped in towards him, and now comes in towards Zuna. Sycho Sid goes down. Almost an ace there. Zuna gets away with nothing left on his health, and it's going to be another inner turret for Marn.
Oh, look how low Niantonso is right now. Got out with single digits of life there, and Vulcun just kind of misplayed. They had two people split pushing. One teleport was available. They tried to have Sycho Sid come in from the back with Mandatory Cloud following in behind him, but the split team fight did not work out because Marn had already decided to engage. Nice combo there from Echo, and they do get the win out of that, also taking down the middle turret.
Yes. You got to feel if Mandatory Cloud had managed to get that jump work, if it had cleared the trees, he just failed jump, sort of face planted into those trees, cartoon style, I think you could imagine there, but didn't quite get through it, which means he couldn't get across, didn't get any resets. And despite the fact they tried to cleverly set up a pincer move, it so rarely works unless it's executed absolutely perfectly. So big advantage is built by Marn now. 5-3 in turrets. You can see the gold swing. 5.5 thousand gold and 9.5 in kills. There's big advantages for Marn. And Marn, of course, remember, they're chasing. They're in 6th place. They want that 5th spot. They want to get ahead of Vulcun.
Yeah, sort of the thinking behind Vulcan's strategy there was a split out team fight they thought would be good because they don't have a hard engage on their team. We saw this yesterday with TSM, where once you got into the mid and late games, since they don't have that hard stun to start it off, really they have to use their tanks just running at Team Marn here. So if Vulcun can get Sycho Sid and Smithy just running at someone and catching them out, then that's really their only reliable engage. They don't have someone like a Malphite or something, which would be the perfect hard stun to start that off with.
Well, they're continuing while they're catching up the dragon here. They were chasing Mandatory Cloud away. Looks like MegaZero successfully bullied him out. Echo was seeing if he could pick anything up. Shield thrown out. Easy dragon pick up by Marn. That's going to extend their gold lead as well. And it is now over 6,000 ahead. And maybe, just maybe, they're going to try and collapse in, see if they can take away the blue buff, anything they can get towards Vulcun. Of course, that bottom inner turret is ultimate target. It's the last one remaining just outside of the base.
Yeah, this is actually a good position for Vulcun. Since Marn are already tanking it, if they could get all their members here, then it would be a good fight to take. The only thing is that Singe teleport is actually down right now, so they're kind of bluffing this split push.
Well, they're bluffing it, and you can see they're saying, yeah, kind of Sycho Sid, you might need to come back. They're going to keep pushing in this one. They are going to lose this inner turret. There's nothing they can do about it. They've got to hope that Sycho Sid can do enough to try and get in there, because Marn are going to keep pressure on this inhibitor.
Yeah, they're just going to keep going. They're not going to take that bait. They've timed the teleport. They know that it just went off in that last fight, and they're not going to fall for it. An inhibitor turret for an outer turret is a great trade. Vulcun don't really want to take this. I don't know why Sycho won't come back.
He hasn't backed yet. You can see the ultimates all available, and there's a snipe coming through again on towards Muffin Cutie, taken very low. They might snipe him down. They do. It's MegaZero that gets it with the equalizer, and that puts them really low. 3v5 right now on this turret, and there's still no back comes out from Sycho Sid. He gets the turret down. Now he's backing, but is it too late? Marn keep knocking on that front door. Eventually, someone's going to have to answer, and it's Marn that come through with a boot.
Yeah, it's way too late right now. You need a turret when you have a Caitlyn comp like this. She has to be firing from those back lines with some sort of protection. Now Smithy wants to go in.
One more hit on the inhibitors is all it needs, but it doesn't matter because Echo takes down Smithy, and now they're in all sorts of trouble. You can see Zuna off the side there. He gets caught out. Mandatory Cloud taken down very low. Wild Growth comes out. Now he tries to come in, doesn't get the reset, but Zuna goes down, and he has to run back to the fountain. Inhibitor taken, and it's going to be a quick evacuation from Marn.
Yeah, Marn looking really good in this game. Zuna actually flashed one way, the 90 caliber net the other way there. Couldn't even make up his mind. An inhibitor down already. It looks like Marn want to turn around their losing streak versus Vulcun.
It does indeed, and there's going to be the blue buff as well being picked up. Looks like that's going to go across. Yeah, Echo takes that one away. Sycho Sid pushing back down this mid lane, which was just cleared out. The wave pushed by Nyenton So. 5-0-4 currently Nyenton So versus a 2-3-2 Zuna. We're so used to hearing him shouting, "Get sniped," but right now he is getting sniped, and it's Nyenton So and Echo being the executors.
Yeah, and also MegaZero is doing a great job. I have to say, he was behind pretty much all of the early game there. He was taking a lot of pressure from Sycho Sid, but he just farmed up and he built more tanky, and he went for that great combo of the Liandry's plus the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. So even though he doesn't have a whole lot of burst, he's got the burn damage. He can slowly burn everyone on the team, get his slows down around everywhere, and he's fairly tanky, so he can kind of get in the fray.
So MegaZero, as you talked about, 4-3-5, got that Liandry's, got that Rylai's in there, so the slow and dirtiness of MegaZero's Rumble's Flame Spitter is going to be stinging. Muffin Cutie with an Oracle. Ooh, I was going to say, don't go walk straight into that bush. That's straight face checking with Heartbeats in full vision with an Oracle. And the moment he puts that ward down, it was cleared straight out by Heartbeat, and now Heartbeat seems settled in that role, honestly, to me. 0-1-8, playing a fantastic support role right now.
Yeah, very well played. I was talking about how Jen is a very technical support to play, and he's really playing her very well. So props to him. He's a very versatile player. He can play mid, he can play AD, support no problem. Maybe it's that Nyenton So swag, just being in bottom lane with him makes you better.
Just makes you better. He seems happy right now. Zuna practically headbutting the camera as well. He gets that engrossed in the screen. Oh, and Smithy getting caught out there. Bit of poke. Didn't go for the ultimate, though. They were just waiting to see if they could get a juicier target. And that juicier target may well have been Mandatory Cloud. We saw him get slowed down there by Claky D. It's not going to keep him away from this one. He's got a siege minion. They're going to get some more poke on towards this one. And again, Sycho Sid is not with the team. He's off the bottom there. It's another inhibitor gone without even challenging it.
He's got the teleport this time, but he teleported so far away. Look, he's behind. Baron still has to run too far. The turret's already down.
The equalizer comes in. The final spark goes through, and now Smithy's going to be targeted on the flame spit. Comes out from MegaZero. He's not going to be able to get away from this one. It's Nyenton So that picks up the kill. And now we see a flash coming out from Muffin Cutie. Finally, he does start joining the fight, but he's in the middle of nowhere. He can't go 1v5. He's going to try and throw that glue out, but they've already evacuated. And look at the stack coming in the top now. The inhibitor's going to go down again. It's another one they go for. Final spark on towards Mandatory Cloud. MegaZero lands the harpoon, keeps him away. They keep poking on this one. Sycho Sid doing what he can, laying a poison trail around everything, but it doesn't matter. Nyenton So is cleaning up. Mandatory Cloud goes down. He gets the double. Can he get the triple? Gonna see if he can poke anything else. They got super minions now. Zuna's being forced well away from this one by Echo. Another inhibitor down. That's all three of them. Echo's going to chase it with the final spark. He gets the snipe down on Zuna. And now it's going to be the Nexus turrets dropping in unison. And finally the Nexus will go down. It's Marn taking down Vulcun 16-5.
Oh, that seems like a case of Sycho Sid was the father on the business trip, and he came home a little too late to find the party was thrown and his house was trashed. His base was all gone by the time he got back. There was nothing he could do except yell at the rest of his team.
Absolute perfect analogy there, Kobe. And well, you can see the man hugs coming out from Marn right now. They've gone with the blue number today, the blue number of shirts. They've got a number of shirts they could use out there. And the guns of Claky D and MegaZero. Well, we talked about it at the start. He's been mega hero in the past, but honestly, fantastic play from the entire team this time around. And Marn really showing that they deserve their spot here in the LCS.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen them a little uncoordinated. We had MegaZero with the pink one, Niantanto was rocking the blue, but it looks like they've got their
MegaZero,
own
yeah.
individual styles here. So everybody branching out. Oh yeah, Niantanto with the gold.
Yeah, looking all flashy, of course. When they've got that many shirts available to them, why not pull out anything you can? And it's great to see the sportsmanship, of course, between these teams. MegaZero happy there. Thumbs up to the camera, as well as the guns from everyone. Niantanto, you know, he's enjoying his time. And Man, you know, since he's joined the team, have really looked good.
Yeah, they've looked really good. He made a good choice. They weren't sure if he wanted to continue with college or come to the LCS, and he was like, LCS is now. I can do college in a little bit, so it looks like it's working out for them. Congrats on the win today, guys.
Full credit to him, because it's very hard, I can tell you, to go back to education once you've tasted the glory, I think it is. Coming up next, we're going to have an interview with Echo from Man, and then it's Complexity versus Good Game University. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Joining us right now is Echo from Man. Fantastic game there straight away, Echo. First game of the day, and you went 4-0-2, 4-0-10, sorry. Let's get your score better, should we, against Mandatory Cloud.
Yeah, just very happy with how we did overall.
So let's take away straight, talk about the picks and ban strategies. You guys have played each other a number of times now. Anything particular you see in there? We always see MegaZero get focused. Does that free up everybody in the team to just say, I'm going to get free reign?
Pretty much. Overall, we've been expanding our picks a little bit more to play more of the more OP champions and not only comfortable champions. With MegaZero being banned out so much, it gives us more options with those.
You're looking a lot better today. I know you've been battling health problems for a long time in the LCS. Is there any update that we have on their situation?
Yeah, mostly it's just what my doctor told me. It's just a big move and moving down here 400 miles with new people and then different diet, different exercise schedule. So it's just everything's different and my body was just getting used to it. It obviously didn't take it that well. So just eating everything in moderation and exercising daily will just help me stay better.
So what are we trying to suggest? That the Marn household's full of unsavory goods that are not so healthy for you?
A little bit.
A little bit. Of course, life away. Is this the first time you've lived away from your parents or anything like that? Right. Now I'm seeing it right now. Of course. So let's talk about the game. How did it develop? I mean, at the start, it was looking like, ooh, Vulcun might get going here, but then suddenly you start taking tower after tower after tower. Was that the plan?
Yeah, it was mostly just a siege whenever we came with Lux because, I don't know, we were very surprised that they picked Volibear so early because we are big Lux players, and so Lux is very strong against Volibear, and so we were either going to pick Jace or Lux, depending on what their jungler was. We originally thought they were going to pick Nasus, which we would then pick Jace, but they picked Volibear, so we picked Lux. And we somehow got 3 kills randomly after giving up first blood, and so it was just kind of like, okay, I guess we're back in the game pretty well. And then we got a free dragon, and I had blues the entire game, and we just sieged forever.
It seemed like you guys were doing really well on most of the map, but MegaZero got into a little trouble there with Sycho Sid up top that Singe kept splits pushing, and then he had teleport on top of that. So anytime you win a lane with a teleport, it puts a lot of pressure on. What was the communication like with MegaZero to handle that situation?
We were actually a little bit surprised that he played Singe post-nerf because his 1v1 isn't nearly as strong, but MegaZero is at a point where he could actually 1v1 him fairly well. The only problem is he has no CC to stop Singe if we were to force a fight. So we're kind of just trying to push out all the waves and then go mid and just force it as fast as we can so they have to come to us.
You know, what surprised me actually was when you guys started grouping up, and you're like, okay, we're just going to keep pushing. We're going to take an inner turret. We're going to, oh, nobody's coming back. Sycho Sid carried on split pushing. You guys were like, well, we're all here. You managed to, I think, snipe down. I think it was Muffin Cutie you managed to force back. So suddenly it was a 5-on-3, and still Sycho Sid didn't come back to help, guys.
Yeah, I was very surprised that he just takes so long. I mean, we have double shield, so we can tank turrets forever. So it's just kind of a misplay on their part.
Yeah, so, I mean, coming out of this one, you now picked up a win. You're effectively chasing Vulcun down now. Do you think you've got what it is to maybe pass them and maybe chase CLG?
Yeah, I definitely think we have what it takes to break into the top 4. Our biggest problem right now is that we're a new team, a new lineup, and so we don't have a lot of comps put together right now, and so that's something we're working on, just working on having a few different things we can have as our go-to, and yeah, just playing together more, getting more familiar with Harpy, learning the support role.
So as a mid, there's a debate. A lot of people have to make the choice when they're looking for a cooldown reduction item, if they go Athenes or when they go Morello Nomicon. I saw in this game you went to Morello Nomicon. When do you think is a really good time for each of those items? What are the benefits?
Usually I go the Athenes route if I'm against an AP mid where the damage is fairly unavoidable. Like against a Zerath, you want to take magic resist because he can snipe you. And so, like against a Syndra, pretty much any burst AP champion that you're going against, you want the Athenes route for the magic resist. But against a Kha'Zix, the magic resist won't really help me, and Singe won't be on me in team fights, and so it's just kind of a wasted stat.
And finally, how are you finding it now in the mid, in this high tournament level? Obviously, this is the week 7 now of the LCS. You've had a few hit and miss weeks, but are you finding you've had to develop your pool of champions, your skills, and now you've been effectively up against the best of North America?
Yeah, I feel very comfortable against all the mids right now. I play a very safe champion pool, and I feel like once I kind of get past the early game, I really excel in team fights, and so that's kind of our goal to get to that point.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Echo, and all the best in the rest of the North American LCS.